Welcome, everybody. My name is Salimah, yoga therapist, and today we're talking about anxiety. This is such an important topic right now, and I think that since the pandemic a few years back, it started to become more and more of a conversation that we're having about our mental health. And I think that's such an important experience that we understand collectively that anxiety isn't necessarily something negative or a sign of weakness, but rather a condition of our mind, and a condition that we can oftentimes work with very effectively, sometimes using medication, and sometimes using the power of these ancient techniques such as breath work and meditation and moving the body in order to feel a little bit more calm, a little bit more resilient, and also to bring those sensations of anxiety under our control. It may not disappear altogether, but having a little bit more grasp of what it is and how to work with it is what we're aiming for here in today's conversation. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And so whether you have anxiety yourself and you're looking for this program to offer you a little bit of insight, or you have friends or family members who have this particular condition and need a little bit of support, this is going to be a really important thing to listen to. All right, so without further ado, let's begin. So first of all, what is anxiety and what are the signs that you can look for in order to understand if you have it or what that actually means? So first of all, anxiety is a combination of a mental experience and also body sensations. And so when you encounter this feeling of anxiety, there are a few symptoms that you can look for. I don't want to get too clinical about it. Symptoms is just a way of describing what's happening so that we can really understand where we fit into the spectrum. And so anxiety can be acute, meaning it's coming up and it's coming up intensely. And then it can be also chronic, which means it's coming up intensely and it's ongoing for a while. And so here are the symptoms. Number one, it usually starts with a feeling of a racing heart, a feeling of panic or nervousness, and it really starts with a physical sensation. That's number one. And number two, a feeling of impending doom. There's something going to happen in the future that feels out of control, feels scary, feels like we have no way of addressing it. It's just going to happen and it's causing a lot of alarm bells in the body and the mind. Number three, there is oftentimes a feeling of restlessness, sleeplessness, and a kind of feeling of tossing and turning, unable to calm and soothe ourselves enough to move on to the next task. And then also a hyper focus on whatever that fear is. So if, for example, I'm worried about a test, a test next week, everything in my day-to-day, even though we're a week away, is focused around the fear of what will happen if the test doesn't go well, or how do I prepare properly for that test? And so there's a fixation on what could happen and all the things that might go wrong. And then finally, this feeling of exhaustion, because oftentimes getting really focused on things that are scary, fearful, the physical sensation of having a heart beat really fast are experiences that tire us out. And so these 4 or 5 different symptoms may be an opportunity for you to relate. Oh yeah, I feel that from time to time. Or, okay, that is my state of beingness a lot of times. And so wherever you fall on that spectrum, it's important to know, and it's important to know that you can do some things about it. And what I'm going to offer you today is some breath work and also a meditation that can very simply and effectively help you come out of those states of arousal, because that's what anxiety is. It's a feeling of, I have to be prepared for whatever comes my way. And that is really a sense of arousal. There's a little nugget of wisdom that one of my teachers mentioned a long time ago, and that is fear is excitement without breath. Okay, so let me say that again. Fear is excitement without breath. And if we think about it and register that in the body, it makes sense. So the first thing we're going to do is move a little bit, and then we're going to breathe. So if you join me now, find a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting here on my couch in my office. You can be down on the floor. You can be sitting at a chair. You can be in bed. It doesn't really matter where you are, as long as your spine is very straight. And we start to think about moving the body in order to create a little more sensation. And these movements are going to be very simple, very straightforward, and you can do them any time of the day. 4 or 5 minutes is enough to activate a soothing sensation in the body. So to dial down that heightened sense of awareness and move us more into a place of relaxation so that we can really listen and take in the wisdom of this conversation. So the first thing first is to bring your hands onto your knees. And then we're going to do spinal flex, which is to open the chest, open the heart, look up slightly, and then exhale round the spine and look towards the knees. We're going to do this for just about a minute. This is a simple exercise. It comes from the school of Kundalini Yoga. And the idea here is that everything that happens is an experience of our nervous system, the way our brain and our bodies interact with each other. And so as we move the spine, we start to engage with the nervous system. We start to create a rhythmic movement, and this rhythmic movement starts to calm the nervous system. So I'm going to stop talking now and let us breathe. Inhale as we come forward and exhale as we roll to the back. If you keep your eyes closed or looking downwards, you have an extra benefit of containing the energy that we're creating here. Last two. Last one. Good. Inhale very deeply, come to center, hold steady. Deep inhale, hold the breath. Keep holding, and exhale. Good. Relax the shoulders now, and let's create some spinal movements now in the shape of a twist. So keeping your hands on your shoulders, inhale as you twist to the left, exhale as you twist to the right. And let's continue now. Inhale, twist left, exhale, twist right. Last two. Last one. And come all the way up to center. Beautiful. Inhale very deeply here. Hold the breath and exhale. You're going to leave your hands on the tops of your shoulders. And from here, dip from side to side. So keeping your shoulders steady, keep your elbows parallel to each other, parallel to the ground. Dip from side to side. And here we're not looking to touch the elbows down, but rather dipping from side to side. This helps to elongate the spine. This also helps to open up the lungs and the heart space. And as you do that, notice a little bit of a stretch in the side of your body, which is really important, especially if you're sitting for most of the day, is to open up these areas. So today's practice, we're moving all directions of the spine. And this is an opportunity to do a little stretch out. It's always important to stretch before we practice breath work and meditation, to move the body rather. And this is to ensure that the body is relaxed so that we can engage the mind. Last two. And last one, come to center, hold steady here, inhale deeply, hold the breath, and exhale. Good, relax the hands all the way down. Just take a moment now and breathe. Notice how you're feeling. We did just a few simple practices, but notice already that you might be feeling a little bit more engaged and a little bit more relaxed. Hands are on the knees for the next one. This is called Sufi grinds. Inhaling as you circle all the way forward and exhale as you turn all the way to the back. So this is big open circles. Inhaling as you circle forward and exhaling as you circle all the way to the back. We're moving the spine in a circular manner now, creating a spiral of energy, massaging the digestive organs, the reproductive organs, relaxing the hips. And again, remember, you can do this on the floor, you can do it in a chair, you can even do it standing if that's what's happening in your world and you need a little quick pick-me-up. Good. Inhale very deeply, come to center, hold steady, hold still. And exhale, go in the opposite direction. Same exercise, opposite direction. See here if you can hang on to your knees and pull yourself a little bit forward, a little more forward, and then against your knees in order to pull yourself all the way to the back. And notice that your body might be a little more relaxed now and able to give you a little bit more movement. Remember, eyes are closed, breathing is steady. Awesome. Inhale very deeply, come to center, hold still. Take a deep inhale, hold the breath, and exhale. Good work. Let's work on the shoulders now. Inhaling as you bring the shoulders up and back and down. So we're bringing big circles to the shoulders. Oftentimes we're carrying our emotions in the shoulders. And if you feel tension in the back of the body, just consider what that emotion may mean to you. There is common wisdom around the fact that we hold the emotion of anger in our shoulders and in our back and in our neck. We may, if there's sensation is coming up in the shoulders or in the front of the body around the heart space, that we might be holding sadness or grief. And if you're feeling sensation in the belly or feelings in the belly, that this might be about fear. And so I tell that to you to offer some clues as to what your body might be telling you about what emotions need to be addressed. And you've heard the saying as well, whatever we resist persists. And so once we figure it out, are able to be compassionate and honest and kind about what we're discovering about our emotions, oftentimes they tend to dissipate, they lessen. Last two, and last one. Inhale very deeply, hold the breath, bring the shoulders all the way up, hold here, and exhale. We're taking it in the opposite direction now. So we're taking our shoulders and rolling them towards the screen and allowing a little more freedom of movement here in the shoulders. Awesome, you're doing great. And if you stayed this long, good for you. It means you're serious about helping yourself feel better. And remember that oftentimes the solution comes in very simple form, and it's just not always easy to start a new habit. So if you've found good benefits so far, the good thing to do to yourself is to promise that you're going to keep coming back until you feel lasting benefits. And that could be 10 days, that could be 20 days, that could be 40 days. And if you feel better and life improves, And keep going. Keep going. Last two. And last one. Good. Take a deep inhale, bring the shoulders all the way up. And exhale. Good. Now take a moment and wiggle your fingers. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If you've noticed any tension creep into your body, now's the time to give it a little shake. I noticed some snap, crackling, and popping in the back of my body, so this was feeling really good. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. So as I mentioned before, fear is excitement without breath. And so what I'd like to do is introduce you to a couple of breathing techniques that can be very helpful when you feel a sense of anxiety coming on, particularly in the morning, because there's a hormone in the body called cortisol. And when we run on the anxious side, when anxiety is part of how we're operating in our day-to-day life, there is also a hormone that is being generated on a heightened basis, and that's called cortisol. Cortisol brings us to alertness, and it tends to rise in the morning. And so if you feel more anxious in the morning, know that that is partly a hormonal response. And finding good grounding ways to work through that in the morning is really important so that you can step out of bed with excitement rather than anxiety. Okay, so here's the breath you can do just as you're lying down in bed. And that is a very simple inhale and exhale. I invite you to bring one hand onto your heart center and one hand onto your belly. And from here, gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath, exhale, and just breathe normally. I'd like to walk you through a few things that you can watch out for your breath to tune in. Okay, so with your eyes closed, start to notice your breath. Is it running fast or slow? Is it running warm or cool? Is it flowing from one nostril more than the other? And all you need to do is pay attention. There's nothing to change, there's nothing to fix, but rather just to pay attention. How is my body feeling right now? And how is my breath moving? Good. And now from here, start to lengthen and deepen your breath. So inhale for a count of 4. Inhale 2, 3, and 4. And exhale 2, 3, and 4. Good. Continue that breathing pattern, inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 4. Now remember that your breath, the rate of your breath, so simply slowing down the breath signals to the brain, okay, everything here is fine. There's no immediate threats. We are literally telling our bodies everything's okay, because a long deep breath tells us, reminds the brain and the body that there is no heightened state of alertness required. Awesome. Make this your last breath. Inhale very deeply and exhale. Good. And so now we're moving on and building onto that breath. So what I'd like you to do is take your finger, we're going to make a square, and that square is going to help us to trace the pattern of this breath. Okay, stay with me as I explain it to you. You can bring your hand forward and point out one finger just so that you can follow along. What we're going to do is through the nose, inhale for a count of 4, and then hold the breath for a count of 4. Through the mouth, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold the breath out for a count of 4. So inhale, hold, exhale mouth, and hold the breath out. All right, so that's the explanation. Let's do it together. You can keep your finger out if you find that it brings a little bit more awareness, or you can let your hand down depending on how you like to work. I like the visualization. I like the sensation of tracing that line. If you're working with kids, this is really great. If you're working with people who are new to yoga or meditation, this is a really great way to try it out and just to give an extra visualization so the thoughts in the mind aren't distracting. Okay, so let's begin now. We're going to inhale through the nose. Inhale 2, 3, and 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, and 4. Now through the mouth, blow the air out. Good. Now hold the breath and 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4. Exhale mouth, 2, 3, 4. Close the mouth, hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go again. 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale mouth, 2, 3, 4. And then hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4. Good, and continue now. You can keep your finger going if you find that that's helpful, or you can drop your finger down and just continue the breath. Make sure your eyes are closed and you're counting in your mind. Now remember that your breath might be a little faster or a little slower than what I'm doing here, and feel free to adjust as you need to. Just make sure that all of that breath work is steady and even, because those even counts and this breath retention are what is going to bring you those stabilizing benefits. Feeling excitement rather than fear. Okay, do a few more rounds just on your own. Good. So this practice comes from the school of Kundalini Yoga and is an opportunity to refocus on the breath and refocus on the life force that we can use in order to direct our energy about the future. Good. Make this your last breath wherever you are now. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Slowly lower your hands down if you are still using your finger to point out the box. Close your eyes and just check in with yourself. How do I feel? What am I noticing? And what are those benefits? And last question, where might this be helpful? What time of the day could I use this? Who could I show this breath work to? Awesome. We have one more practice that I'd like to show you, and this is a meditation for a calm heart. So not only are we using breath work, but also mudras, hand positions, to channel energy, to feel a sense of calmness. And we're going to be using this meditation for just about 3 minutes. So bring your left hand onto the center of your heart. So imagine your spine is running right through the center of your body. And here, placing your hand on top of your spine. So left hand is here. Fingers are pointing straight across and thumb is pointing towards the chin. And that keeps us all aligned. Make sure your spine is straight. And on your right side, bringing your thumb and your first finger together. Thumb and first finger together. Palm is facing up, facing towards the screen. Meditation for a calm heart. Now, gently close your eyes. Just leave them a little bit open. So you can just take a look downwards or look towards your nose and allow your eyes to relax. So they're not fully closed. They are just simply relaxed. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And the idea here is very similar to what we've been practicing. So we're building some skills. Here, you want to take a long, slow inhale. And then hold the breath as long as you possibly can. Now, when I say hold the breath as long as you can, just until you can't hold it anymore. Please don't introduce any more stress. Do not strain the body in order to hold. Just when you can't hold it any longer. Just let it all go. Exhale the breath out. And then again, hold the breath out as long as you possibly can. So you can see it's very similar to box breath, except we're not counting here. We're allowing a natural flow of breath. Okay, remembering now, inhale long and slow, holding the breath as long as you can. And then when you can't hold anymore, exhale all the air out. And then holding the breath out as long as you possibly can. Meditation for a calm heart. Now, what's happening here is with your left hand, you're holding the energy around your heart space. In yogic understanding or science, the hand over the heart is holding prana, which is life force, the energy that gives breath life. So we know that we need air to breathe, but did you know that it supports life? Thinking even more deeply about it. And so as we engage with the breath, we start to hold more energy around the heart and the lungs. This is generally where we hold anxiety, is right here in the heart space. And with the right hand turned upwards, we're holding a mudra of wisdom. It's almost like a channel. It's like an antenna. So holding on to wisdom, wisdom, and inviting stillness around the heart. We're here for just about another minute. You're doing great. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Relax your shoulders. Relax your eyes. Good. And here we are at the last round. Inhale very deeply. And softly, gently relax your hands down. And sit for a moment, just holding the energy of all the calmness that you created. Hold the intention of creating soothing experience. And give yourself a little smile for making it through the video, committing to helping yourself feel better. Good. Now one more quick smile at the camera. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Salimah, yoga therapist. You can catch all of this and more on my YouTube channel, YogaVision Online. And if you're curious about taking your practice further, please join me for Kundalini Yoga teacher training. You'll find all the details in the description box below, and you can also visit yogavision.com, and there, all the details about how the program works and the mentorship that you will receive over a year of study. Lots of love to you. Until next time.